So you're just going to want to focus on this event folder, which contains all the stuff that makes it work. You can read this README later, but basically these are the two folders you want to focus on. These are the ones you're going to be dealing with. The imports folder contains the footage that you are going to capture. So when you are shooting something, this is where that footage should go. And inside backups, you don't really need to worry about that too much until you want to go back and recall footage that was already processed. So of course the way it's supposed to work is that you're supposed to drop something into this imports folder or capture it, and it drops here when it's done recording, and it automatically gets exported into here. So I'll go ahead and open up an example project. Just calling this Cool Edit. So right away you notice everything's offline, and that's fine. I've done some edits to this stuff. You can see I've added glow, curves, tint. I've done time remapping to things. So things are going slow then fast. There's a lot happening that it could, be really difficult to do on the spot, obviously. So here's something to note is that this target file, these two file names are important, this comp and this placeholder, just because you don't want to change these, because this is actually how the software is going to recognize that when it brings in the new footage, this is the target location to put it in. And once it goes there, it'll automatically populate throughout the edit where it's supposed to go. So to get that started, just go to File, Script, Run Script File, and we'll just go to our dev folder. And so we have init.jsx. We can rename this later, and but if we for now just run it, it's going to ask me to choose a folder. So basically, the folder that you want to choose for this is going to be your event folder, and this is what that should look like. So this event folder has dev, exports, imports, backups. This is the structure that you just want to have to facilitate the software operating. So it's going to bring imports into here. It's going to back them up. It's going to export them here, and the software runs out of the dev folder. So it's important to have all this stuff here inside your event folder, and you could name this anything. This doesn't really matter, and this folder can be located anywhere. It's really just what's inside that's important. And so I just want to choose the event folder and hit OK. And so it looks like nothing's really happening yet. But what's actually going on is if I go into my task manager, you will see right there, Microsoft Windows-based script host. But basically, it's watching the imports folder right here. So all I got to do to get this thing going is just put footage in there. So I do have something I can use. Keeping it in the archive, or actually I have some in the footage. Yeah, so I can take this ebony footage. We don't really need audio. So obviously we've done some edits to this. We don't want it to look like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this just to show into the imports folder and paste. And so you'll see just a moment. After Effects begins processing it, and you see the edit begin. It's already rendering, and of course what's happening in the folder. Oh, and don't mind that it's locking up like that. Actually, it's still rendering. The interface is just inaccessible until it's complete. So as long as you don't have a super long edit, that shouldn't be an issue, which I can imagine is going to be very long because you have a lot of people in line. So anyway, where did that file go? Well, it's in the backups, so if you ever need to use it again. Basically, the imports folder wants to stay clean for anything else that's in line to be processed. It wants to move something into backups the minute that it's been processed, and that's how it works. So if we go to our exports folder, we can see that it exported the edit here. It's all ready to go. It's in ProRes. We can change to whatever format you want. And that's it. You can watch again. Did a little glow, some transitions in slow-mo. That's the stuff, some scale up, scale down. or Insta will be great. So another cool thing about this is that I can actually change the edit. Like right now we're still scanning. If I go back, you can still see the scans going on. So if I were to say, maybe leave the color back on, you could do that, or maybe punch it up. And then if I were to drop in the footage again, paste. Okay, you don't want to overwrite, so hopefully you'll have unique file names, but basically it'll be able to take that edit as well. And now we have, on the fly, some changes made to it. Normally this was black and white, but you can make those changes, right away, and basically the After Effects comp is live, so you can get pretty creative with that. Let's do something trickier. Let's do undo. We'll go back to where we were. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So what would be really cool is if we just put like an after image on them. Let's try wide time. So that's just some effect that we can definitely recognize is really different. So with that done, I can go ahead and go to the imports, drop in the clip, and After Effects is now processing with this new effect on it. Just wait for it to be complete. That effect takes a little longer. And there we are. So let me know if you have any questions. We can talk it out later. Thanks.